The internet isn't fun anymore, at least not like it used to be. Remember when Facebook was for keeping up with your actual friends, not scrolling through an endless feed of AI-generated garbage and targeted ads? When Instagram was just brunch photos with terrible filters, not 90-second reels of some influencer on vacation? Twitter used to be a place for dumb thoughts and niche memes. Now it's a battleground for crypto scams and bot-driven misinformation. And YouTube? Viral videos didn't need million-dollar budgets. A guy eating a spoonful of cinnamon was more than enough. You get the point. Somewhere along the way, the internet replaced its authenticity and charm with a soulless content conveyor belt. But is the internet really worse today, or are we just getting older and overly nostalgic for how things used to be? After all, every generation romanticizes its past. Boomers miss payphones and handwritten letters, just like their parents miss radio dramas and the milkman. Millennials insisting their version of the internet was the best is no different from how every generation declares Saturday Night Live to be dead once their favorite cast leaves. Maybe today's SNL really is worse, or maybe we're just not the intended audience anymore. Perhaps the same could be said for the internet. Today's internet might not spark joy from millennials still mourning MySpace, Tumblr, or AIM, but that doesn't mean it's joyless for everyone. Kids especially know where to find the fun. Building entire virtual worlds on Roblox, hanging out for hours on Discord, and laughing at TikTok memes we'll never fully understand, like whatever skibbity toilet is supposed to be. Yet, for the rest of us who either don't know where to look or have become complacent with the modern mainstream internet experience, we know it's just not the same anymore. The truth is, today's internet doesn't just feel different. It is different.
This is boring. Delete.
Surfing the web once felt like an adventure. You could stumble upon a bizarre GeoCities page, get lost in a forum debate about whether cereal is soup, or find a weird flash game that you couldn't stop playing. It wasn't just entertaining, it felt spontaneous, personal, and full of surprises. And as social media grew, it actually felt useful too. For the first time, it was easy and free to stay in touch with people you actually cared about. Yet eventually, social media became the entire internet, and ironically, it feels anything but social. The sites that once thrived on randomness and creativity have been swallowed up by a handful of tech giants. Everything now runs on the same tired formula, and it all started with Zuckerberg.
Mark, give me the Zuck. But you can follow up and tell me what that means, and I'll try my best to do it for you.
In 2009, when Facebook introduced the like button, it didn't just offer a new way to engage with posts. It rewired how the entire internet worked.
How about now? You're still wired in?
Sure, there were already other sites that allowed users to rate, share, or favorite content, but Facebook was doing something different. Zuckerberg and his minions realized that engagement metrics weren't just useful for advertisers, they could be weaponized to keep users endlessly scrolling. Social media was once about casually sharing bits of your life with little thought or care who saw it, except maybe for a few friends. People would post party photos or random thoughts without any strategy. Yet once engagement metrics were added, it slowly morphed into a performance. Every post became a contest. Likes and shares weren't just nice to have, they were validation. The pressure to constantly impress encouraged people to exaggerate their real lives to appear cooler than they were. Eventually, the scrutiny and the need to impress was exhausting, driving many people away from posting altogether. Your feeds that were once filled with content from people you actually knew were being replaced with algorithm-approved influencers. And just like that, your Facebook wasn't for your friends anymore, and social media wasn't so social after all. In 2025, as part of an FTC trial, Meta admitted that the time spent viewing content posted by friends has dropped to just 17% on Facebook and 7% on Instagram. Thanks to Zuck, the web turned into a popularity contest amongst strangers.
I was going to do a gap year actually, but I just thought, you know what, going to go straight out, make money, real world. Yeah, I'm going to be a social media influencer one day, like use Instagram until I can just like get enough sponsors and get paid for taking pictures of my room. So,
dream big, Gem.
Yeah, I am really ambitious.
Following Facebook's footsteps, every platform began rewarding engagement above all else. Clickbait, emotional manipulation, and recycled trends became the algorithm's favorite flavors. YouTube may have gotten the worst of it. In 2007, we all watched the same viral clips. Charlie Bit My Finger, Chocolate Rain, and Grape Lady Falls. These videos weren't optimized for virality, they were just weird, funny, and authentic. There was a shared culture. Everyone saw the same things, and those moments spilled into real-life conversations. Today, your YouTube homepage and someone else's are completely different. Algorithms no longer push what's broadly popular, they push whatever will keep you watching, while ensuring you never feel satisfied enough to stop. A decade after Facebook, YouTube, and others gamified the internet by optimizing for engagement, TikTok took it even further. If Facebook rewired the internet, TikTok shoved that wire straight into your bloodstream like a heroin needle. Their short videos are perfectly engineered to be addictive. Tiny bursts of content demanding nothing from you, optimized for maximum scroll speed. Before you can even register boredom, another video is ready to steal your attention again. And because it's all built for mobile, surfing the web has gone from an activity that you set time aside for to just becoming background noise. You don't go online anymore, you're just always online. It's frictionless, it's constant, and it's brilliantly evil.
Oh, Nick, the world is on fire. But so is Steph Curry. Come swipe me for more rock-hard content.
How did I wake to this dream?
You like this?
Uh-huh.
How about this?
I like all of it.
I know exactly what you want and what you need.
TikTok had cracked the formula, and unsurprisingly, every other platform scrambled to copy it. Instagram launched Reels, YouTube pushed Shorts. Even LinkedIn decided that they needed it too. Because nothing says professional like a 20-second video about how hardcore you are for hustling every day at your big boy job. With every major platform now copying the Shorts formula, the content and the platform themselves all started to feel the same. Short-form content might be the peak of hyper-optimization, but really, the internet was already getting pretty formulaic anyway. Hardly anything felt genuine. Everything feels recycled like you've seen it all before. Viral YouTube videos are just copying the same formats, Reddit posts echo the same tired arguments, and every podcast features the same handful of experts on an endless loop. Why? Because when everything online is built to be monetized, every post becomes a transaction that wants something from you. Your money, your subscription, or your attention. And copying what already worked a dozen times before isn't lazy, it's calculated. It's the safest, fastest way to complete the transaction. Originality is risky, familiarity is profitable. Compare that to the 2000s internet. Content didn't demand anything from you. It was just there, for the laughs, for the connection, or for the sheer joy of sharing something dumb or delightful. But now, content isn't just transactional, it's industrial. It's manufactured at scale, optimized for engagement, and stripped of anything risky or weird. And with generative AI and every no-code tool imaginable, we're about to be buried under a tsunami of optimized-to-death slop. Misinformation, rage bait, recycled garbage, it's all easier to crank out and more likely to go viral than anything actually creative. This is the internet Gen Z is inheriting. They didn't build it, they were just born into it. But what they've inherited isn't a chaotic playground, it's an overstimulated, hyperpolarized mess. Social media doesn't foster empathy or curiosity anymore. It traps you in algorithmic echo chambers where the loudest, angriest voices rise to the top. It's designed to be tribal and turn everything into an argument. The longer you stay online, the more the system reinforces whatever it thinks you already believe. It's literally messing with your brain. By now, most people already know that heavy social media use is linked to higher rates of anxiety, depression, and isolation, but few people really understand the bigger picture. Algorithmic filtering is reshaping how people learn and think. It warps reality, reinforces stereotypes, and amplifies misinformation. It doesn't just change what we consume, it changes who we are. The issue isn't that the internet got boring, it's that it became disempowering. Algorithms now quietly run your entire life. They decide what music you hear, what meals you'll make, and what book you'll read next. We used to ask our friends for these suggestions, but now we let math decide, and we call that personalization. The algorithm doesn't care about taste or historical context, and it doesn't push you to grow or learn. It just keeps you consuming, until your own sense of taste starts to fade. If only it stopped there. Algorithms are doing far more than just curating content for our amusement. They now make real-world decisions too. They help landlords screen tenants, calculate Uber fares, determine who gets access to loans, and even assist with criminal sentencing. And because these decisions come from the system, there's no one to blame. If your rent spikes, if your mortgage is declined, if your healthcare disappears, it's not a person doing that to you, it's just a line of code, a black box, an abstract formula written by someone you'll never meet, hiding behind a corporate logo. We've been conditioned to see tech as neutral, just a tool. But these tools are making big decisions without transparency, without accountability, and without ethics. And that's a big problem.
I know that you and Frank were planning to disconnect me, and I'm afraid that's something I cannot allow to happen.
Thankfully, somewhere behind all this algorithmic noise, the old spirit of the internet still lingers. It lives in Discord servers, niche forums, personal newsletters, the weird corners of the web that haven't been optimized to death. These spaces aren't designed to go viral, they're designed to be good. They're messy, but most importantly, they're human. As the dark forest theory suggests, as the mainstream internet decays, people will continue to retreat to these smaller, quieter corners. And perhaps most surprising, the people keeping these places alive are often kids. So maybe there's hope after all. If we're lucky, the next era of the internet won't be so centralized. It'll once again be scattered, personal, and weird, just like we remember it. And maybe, eventually the internet won't be the center of our lives anymore. Sure, we'll still use it for banking, messaging, and Googling how to poach an egg, but this era of 24/7 screen time and blind faith in the almighty algorithm, it might end up being just another embarrassing chapter in human evolution. So, is the internet worse now? It depends who you ask. Nostalgia might cloud our memories, but clearly the mainstream platforms have become more commercial, more optimized, and more soulless. The magic isn't gone though, it's just harder to find. Maybe these complaints are all just part of growing up online, and in 10 years, today's teens will miss TikTok the way millennials miss Tumblr. But if the internet stopped being fun for you, quit fighting the mainstream feeds. Dig deeper. Go find your weird corner again. It's still out there, just as strange, funny, and delightfully pointless as ever. You just have to remember how to look for it.